What's going on, everybody? This week we got not the greatest video I've ever filmed. Made my biggest fish keeping mistake in the hobby thus far. As you can see behind me, we've got the 33-gallon long tank that housed my African shell dwellers. As you can see, maybe not see, I made a big mistake and all of the fish have died, except for two of the Pandagara. Not a video I wanted to film. Basically what happened, I was worried more about the algae issue that I've been battling in this tank and tried to do another blackout. Blacked it out as soon as I got done doing the water change and forgot to turn the filter back on. Things happen. I do have some more shell dwellers that will be here. Be here soon. I'm actually going to pick them up tomorrow. So by the time you guys see this video, the tank will be back up and running with more shell dwellers in it. Like I said, not a video I wanted to film, but things happen. I'm just glad I was able to get some more. All right, well, since we have now lost all of our African shell dwellers, what we're gonna do now, since I can't figure out what the issue is with the algae in this tank, filter's been on here and running for, well, it's now July and we put it on last September, so the filter media is established. We've put curtains up on all the windows around the tank to prevent sunlight. We keep them closed pretty much all the time. The only other thing I can think of is that the really fine sand that we're using is holding too many nutrients and allowing the algae to grow. So what I'm going to do is we're now going to take out all of the shells, take out all of the substrate, and replace the substrate and the shells, and basically just start over. The only thing we're going to have is a seeded filter. So yeah, let's start that journey. Alright, so now that we're redoing this tank, we're actually doing this the same night that I did the 90-gallon for the Africans. Got all of the shells pulled out. Like I said, we got all new ones, so got those pulled out and thrown away. Next step is a substrate. Because this is such a fine sand, we've actually had issues before with our pythons sucking the sand right out of the bottom of the tank. And since our python uses so much more tap water than tank water, we're actually gonna basically just suck all the sand out with the python and just let it flow into a bucket downstairs, and then when it gets full I'll empty it out. But that's how we're going to do the substrate in this tank, and then we've got new substrate and everything too, hoping that this will help with the algae issue. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. See you in the next clip. So going back into the 33, we have a Top Fin brand aquarium gravel. Still a pretty fine gravel, but definitely not as fine as the sand that we took out of there. I've got 35 pounds here, which I'm thinking should be enough. If not, then we'll stop tomorrow and grab another 5-pound bag, but I'm thinking 35 pounds should be enough. Like I said, we've got, how many is it, 72 shells again?
Yes.
We've got another 72 shells that'll be here Sunday or Monday to basically have the same amount of shells that we had in there before. So just giving you guys an update on what we're putting in. We're still working on getting all the old substrate out, but that's coming along really well. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Is already in. See a lot of it floating. That'll all settle. Something kind of cool. As it develops like little air pockets on it, the new substrate kind of sticks to the air pockets and kind of dances around in the current of the but yeah, there is a lot floating on top. That will go away once it, once the tank's full and running and everything, that'll all go away. Same thing happened. Whoa, almost fell over. Same thing happened when I filled the 125 with the same substrate. The only difference between this and the 125 is on the 125 I added a little bit of natural gravel to kind of make it a sand and gravel substrate, which turned out looking pretty cool. But I don't think this substrate will be, if it'll focus there, I don't think it'll be too big for the shell dwellers to move around on their own, which is what I was really looking for. I was looking for one that the shellies could move on their own, but one that was coarse enough substrate to not get sucked up into the python, along with something completely different that will hopefully not have our algae issues anymore. But I'll give you another update here as soon as we get it filled up and get the filter running and everything again.
They almost sunk again.
Oh yeah. So now that we've got, now we've had the water from the python just kind of running across the top, you can kind of see mostly everything on the top has pretty much sunken on its own. So the rest of it will eventually happen. And then as these air pockets disperse, substrate will go back to looking normal. I'll see you guys in the next clip. Just another quick thing for you guys here. So obviously the tank is a little cloudy, but not nearly as cloudy as the 90 gallon was with the black diamond sand. One thing I did want to let you know though, if you're using this, I don't know if you call it a coarse sand or a fine gravel from Topfin. Definitely if you put it in the tank dry, or put it in the tank without water, make sure that as you're filling the tank, you're really moving around that substrate. You can watch my wife here, she's filling. Every once in a while she'll hit a spot and we've gotten most of them now. But every time there's spots that you hit that create, there's one right there, large air pockets underneath the substrate. Obviously we put this in with no water in the tank, so I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that if you're using this, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you call it a fine sand or a coarse sand or a fine gravel. Just make sure you move it around and get those large air pockets out of there. Get as many of those air pockets out as you can. Alright guys, so for some reason my outro video didn't save last night. We did get the 33 gallon tank done. We did go up to one of our local fish stores today. Not really local, it's like an hour and 45 minutes away. But went up there and picked up some more fish today. Kind of give you a sneak peek of the tank there. Just a little bit. Also picked up some other fish that will hopefully help us out in this tank. But I'll give you an update on this tank here in probably a couple weeks, as we're still waiting on the shells for the shellies that we picked up today. Those should be here probably tomorrow. They didn't show up today, so I'm hoping they show up tomorrow. But yeah, I'll give you an update here in probably a couple weeks. As a week from the time you see this video, I'll be doing an update on the 90 gallon now that that's all cleared up. But yeah, we'll see you in the next video.